Hello. Once again, so I'm Bonejock. I'm a Dayton, the developer of Moonlight Fire at this BIGMODE 26 game jam. And you said your name is Andrew, one of the developers of Rink.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, me and my brother were the ones who worked on this one, and we had assistance from our composer Dayton, who we worked with for the last BIGMODE jam as well.
Awesome. Yeah, and so you did the art and programming.
Yeah. So typically, I'll share some of the programming responsibilities depending how much art is needed for the project.
Mm-hmm.
I think primarily for this one I did mostly art and a little bit of game programming.
Okay. I suppose, let me see here. Right. So what got you and your team interested in the BIGMODE game jam this year?
We've done all 3 BIGMODE game jams.
Oh.
I think it's kind of the jam that we always take the most seriously. I think because we're all big Donkey fans, of course.
Yeah.
And we had success with the first jam we did. We were a winner of that first year. And so last year we did this game called Flicker.
Wait a second, you were on Mode Guy.
Yep, that was my first submission.
Were you in the interview I did for this game?
I don't think so. I don't.
Oh my god.
I don't remember.
we're correcting we're righting a lot of wrongs this jam. So glad to have you on now. Yeah, Mode Guy, that was a good one. I have the entry floating around on my YouTube channel. Unfortunately I wasn't able to get it to everybody because I was pretty stretched in that year, but yeah, great to see you. And then I did know that you were one of the developers of Flicker, or at least your team did.
Yep. Me and my brother and Dayton, so the same 3 of us.
Oh, okay. I don't remember. Yeah. I don't remember who I was talking to. I think it might have been Daniel in Mode Guy 2000. So
yeah, very possible.
Yeah, so I guess every time the jam rolls around, do you have to do much deliberation? Do you just like hunt down all of your regulars and be like, all right, it's time?
Yeah, I'd say that my brother and I just kind of know we'll do it. But as you know, the date is very last minute. And so for this year actually ended up being a little bit inconvenient because for the 10 days, about 4 of them we were on a family trip together, so both of us were out of commission for about 4 of the days.
Oh man.
Yeah, so we kind of just tried to scope accordingly. And yeah, we actually were going to work with a different composer. One of our friends wanted to hop in, but he got a last minute work assignment that took him out, so we had to call in Dayton last minute too. So it was all a little bit hodgepodge this year, but we just tried to kind of do the best we could.
Okay. Yeah, it's always like every time the jams come around, every single time, I've just been like, I'm so stretched thin. I don't know if I want to do this one. And then I just like, nah, I gotta do it. I really relate to what you said about like taking it the most seriously, not only because I used to watch all of Donkey's videos like religiously with my friends. Like every single time a video would come up, you'd be like, new Donkey video, you know, but nowadays it's sort of fallen off because I've been so locked in on game development, which was definitely incepted in the 23 jam. So yeah, this community in particular, since we've formed in the 23 jam, has sort of joked that it's like you know, it's sort of like a proving ground. Like, okay, we got to drop everything and just like, you know, do it again.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good sized jam. I think some of the jams get a little bit too big to where it's hard to kind of stand out. But this one has a lot of entrance, but it feels like you can still find your footing.
Hell yeah, for sure. So yeah, glad to see you at this jam again. Unfortunately, I did not catch your team for Flicker last year, but I did see it in the video, and it was really hype watching it on stream. So I guess on that topic, how was this jam compared to the last 2? Like, what was the vibe? Even though, like, yeah, you were rushed, but
yeah, this jam I think we scoped the best. We were still kind of stressed up to the end, but I think we had a few hours before the deadline that we actually submitted, and we kind of scoped it in a way where you know, if we got so busy that we couldn't really keep adding content, that we kind of stop whenever we ran out of time. And I think that was a little bit different than the previous games where it felt like we were kind of grinding up to the very last minute. I think that just kind of is a result of having more jams under our belt. So I think overall I felt good about it. I mean, as you know, game jams are kind of an equal mix of fun and stress. And so I think it was kind of the same in that regard, but we tried to do what we could to make it more fun than stress.
Right. Yeah, and how much time were each of you dedicating after the unfortunate 4-day stint of absence?
Yeah, I think that for the time that we had, we were kind of every day after work and our family obligations, we were spending all of our free time jamming. So I think probably on average we were doing maybe 6 hours a day each.
Okay. That's a pretty respectable time.
Yeah, it was enough to kind of get stuff done, but still be able to get a little bit of sleep and not neglect our actual responsibilities too much.
Yeah. Let's see here. So, oh, that's weird.
Oh yeah.
Looks like you submitted 1 hour and 20 minutes before, which means that you submitted 20 minutes before the original deadline. So how are the last few days, last few hours for you?
I think they were all right, if I remember. I think we were just kind of adding last-minute polish. So if we needed to submit a few hours before that, we would have been able to. But there was just always a few last-minute things that would be nice to add or things to clean up. Just lower priority, nice to haves. And so I think we submitted it close to the deadline, but in reality, we weren't super pressed. So I think all in all, it was okay. Versus with like Flickr last year, I think we were having kind of technical issues up till the very last minute. So this one wasn't quite that way. So we were a little bit more chilled for the last bit.
Chill indeed. So how did your team react to the theme this year? How did you explore the concept?
Yeah, so I think when we have the themes, well, the timing for this one was actually interesting because usually it seems like the theme's announced maybe on like a weekend or a time when you can hop right into it. This one was announced on, I think, Thursday morning or something like that. So I didn't get to really brainstorm with my brother until later in the day. So we had a lot of time to kind of sit and think individually first.
Mm-hmm.
And I always just kind of jot down the first things that come to my mind, like try to get the obvious stuff out of the way, and then try and think about things that other people won't come up with. And I really didn't come up with anything good this year. Nothing that really was inspiring me. And then Daniel had this idea about the Zamboni, and like when he first started describing it, I kind of just like could picture it right away.
Mm-hmm.
And because I do all the art, it's important for me to be able to understand what it's going to look like before we start committing to it, because I want to know that I can execute. And I think the most important thing when we go into a jam is just thinking about, is this something that we can execute to a high quality? Because we want to be able to have the best small product possible. And so that one just kind of caught my attention, and I knew right away that would be a good one for us to go with, which I was happy about because, like I said, I didn't have a good idea. So he kind of saved the day with his good idea.
Yeah. So you all just heard Slick and you were just like, okay, just normal theme. Because it was sort of like a running gag that Donkey would call things Slick when he really thought something like was clever or interesting or fun. Did you catch that, or was it just like a normal theme for you?
Yeah, we were well aware of the kind of the Donkey interpretation of the theme, and I think when we were mulling over how to interpret it, it just felt maybe better to go more straightforward, because I think that the theme as a voting category, people get very literal about it.
Yeah.
They have a hard time giving a higher scores if you're not like super on the nose.
Mhm.
So for example, last year's theme was power, and in Flicker, as you progressed through the game, you'd get stronger and stronger. You'd be able to launch the people further and further. And so there was that kind of power aspect, but it wasn't so in your face, and it felt like that was ultimately like a detractor in that category. And so we thought, like, let's just go very literal in terms of slick, make it very easy to connect, and not get too cute with it, and make it like the donkey version of slick, and make it kind of more, just make it more on the nose, basically.
That's funny. Yeah, I sort of joke that like if you have the name of the theme in your game, I'm sure it gives you like a 0.5 bump in your theme rating. Regardless of what it is, like whatever the theme's in the name, I'm sure people will give more stars for that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So yeah, abstract interpretations are a little bit unfavorable in that regard. Because personally, like because my jam entry in 2023 was Teleco 20XX, and that does have both a stereo mode and it takes advantage of full screen mode. But I really, really wanted to avoid saying the word mode. Like I struggled to try to figure out a different way to say full screen mode, but whatever, it got in. So yeah, you were just like, we're not gonna risk it. We're doing a slick game. It's a game where stuff is slippery.
Yeah, we knew we'd only have 6 days, and so we decided just to kind of go more literal as much as possible.
Gotcha. So yeah, what were the last minute things that you were doing? Do you remember what you were working on all the way up to the end?
Yeah, just stuff like juice, particle effects and menu hover effects, and just small things that aren't super crucial if they're not there, but add a nice touch if they are. Stuff that just, if it didn't make it, wouldn't make or break it, but it's just kind of nice to have.
Yeah. So was not very stressful right at the end? You just basically had everything tidied up?
Yeah, as much as we could. I mean, you're always worried that there's going to be something that breaks when people start playing it, but we try to do a little bit of play testing as we're going and hope for the best.
Yeah. Was there anything that was breaking? Anything that was like really technically challenging for you, or did you have to learn something new in order to accomplish this game?
Yeah, I mean, luckily the technical challenges I didn't have to worry about too much, but basically the whole ice texture, you'll see that there's kind of the base concept is cleaning the ice. It gets dirty and you clean it, and then we add this extra layer of when you splatter these skaters that they spread blood everywhere, and that ended up being kind of a technically challenging thing to handle, was the extra layer of the blood, and so that was a challenge, but I didn't have to deal with it mainly, so I was mostly just doing art stuff, which nothing really challenged me there. But I think I was dealing with a lot of the ragdoll stuff, which can be challenging and frustrating at parts. So there's a little bit of that.
Gotcha. Also, hello, Golden Character Design. Thank you for the raid. For anybody just joining us, we're developers for the 2026 BIGMODE Game Jam, hosted by Video Game Donkeys publisher BIGMODE. We had 10 days to make a game with the theme of Slick. I'm Bonejack, developer of Moonlight Fire, joined here by Andrew, developer of Ice Rink Crush. So yeah, if you want to stick around, we're talking about game development. But yeah, so yeah, we were noticing the like dirtying up the ice and everything. Like that was a funny concept for a little bit there, and this is sort of a new format for me to hunt down the actual finalists of the jam. So it was a little bit confusing at first. Like nobody was really sure that the blood was like contributing or not. How was that for you as a developer to see the results of your design decisions?
Yeah, there's always an element of hindsight. I guess that was one thing we kind of mulled over, but like the time is so limited that you don't have a lot of time to kind of make a decision and go back on it. And so we'll kind of pick a way we're going, commit to it, and then if we regret it, then so be it. But I think if this was a 3-week game jam, we probably would have changed course halfway through. But I think at some point we just said, well, it is what it is. We're kind of too deep in, and we'll just deal with it. I think I was more interested in making it like a fun, visceral experience, more so than it making a whole lot of sense. I guess. And so in that way, I didn't mind that the blood kind of contributed to the mess. And there's a little bit of a push and pull in terms of, do you want to kill the guys, and if so, how early? And so there's a little bit of strategic interest there, and I can see how it's confusing for sure. But yeah, didn't have a whole lot of time to change course or think too much about it.
I'm sure it's fine. Does your team plan on working on Ice Rink Rush anymore? Any post-gen patch or anything else?
No, this is the final state of Ice Rink Rush.
Yeah.
For better or for worse.
Yeah, I mean that's all it's got to be. But yeah, cool. So how did your team react when the jam, when the stream had your game up?
I was happy and honestly surprised. We didn't get as much traction this year as last year. I think last year was an anomaly because I think we got like 140 ratings or something like that. We were always the top few popular. And I don't know how the itch algorithm works. It seems kind of mysterious because this year we had under 40. So it was just, yeah, so I kind of felt like we flew a little bit under the radar. And so, yeah, the fact that he played it was surprising, but happy to see it.
Yeah, we had a few deep cuts here. Stuff that wasn't exactly like a fan favorite thing. But then there's also the itch rating system, because the itch rating system does weight things. So it's possible that, like, well, with 40 ratings you probably weren't weighted, but sometimes more ratings isn't necessarily like, you know, a guarantee. So yeah, definitely cool. On the topic of Flickr, actually, so I was talking with the what the fuck am I saying? The Slickshot dev, or one of the Slickshot devs. Well, both of them, I suppose. Did you see Slickshot this year?
I think so. I've been watching most of the stream.
Yeah. It was the first one that they played this year, and it was definitely a strong contender for me. I was just like, oh yeah, this game is gonna go far. But I was talking with them, I was sort of saying like, yeah, this feels like the Flickr of this year's jam. I specifically cited Flickr, and you know what they said? They were like, actually, yes, we really liked Flickr, and we were trying to sort of embody that sort of feeling.
Oh wow.
So yeah,
okay.
Your game inspired them, so that's really awesome.
That's cool. Yeah, I'll have to go back and check that out. I remember seeing it, but I wasn't viewing it with that lens, so I'll have to go back and look at that.
Yeah, because they sort of have like they have a very flat 3D sort of look. Flickr was very impressive for me because it just looks like there's so much going on in it, and just so much like attention to detail and everything, and that was really cool. They had more of like an open-ended exploration type game, and they said that they specifically cited Flickr. So yeah, super cool to see like returning faces and how everybody sort of like influences each other. So I suppose on an unrelated note, well, tangentially I suppose, what were your favorite games at the jam this year?
I liked I probably couldn't name them by name, but Pizza Planet, I guess, is one that I can remember.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that one and played it for a good amount of time. There was the skateboarding one where you could do the tricks off the, what was it, like the light, what was it, the poles, the lamp poles, and all the stuff as you're kind of going side-scroller style.
Yeah, I saw that one. I'm blanking on the name too.
Yeah, there was the other skateboarding one where it's kind of crunchy pixels. It had a bunch of different tricks you could pull off. It was in the top 10 for a long time. I think it was called Void Skater.
Oh.
I thought that was pretty cool stylistically.
Seems you've got a lot of skating games under your repertoire.
Yeah, those I was kind of just hitting the play random button, and that's what it was giving me. But yeah, I mean, whenever Donkey plays them, I'm always surprised by really high quality games I never got to see. So it's pretty cool that they get surfaced.
Yeah, for sure. There were actually less games at this jam than there were in the 2025 jam, which is sort of interesting. It's like, it's not lower than the amount in the first jam. It's in between them, so sort of a medium weight pool, I suppose. But yeah, it's still surprising when you see stuff. It's just like, how did this fly under my radar?
Yeah.
Wasn't able to play this one, says Sam the Wise. Sam the Wise is the artist on Cold Hard Cash, So fellow finalists at the jam. Let's see. But yeah, especially since your team has gone 3 for 3 now. I don't remember. I think Flicker got a certificate last year, didn't it?
No, actually, it
No.
didn't.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I was surprised because everybody seemed to like it so much, but
Right.
no.
Okay. Okay. And Mode Guy 2000 was.
It did. Yeah, the first one did.
Right. Yeah, you've gone 3 for 3. That's really awesome. So do you speak about your game development stuff with anybody in your personal life, your friends and family?
Yeah, everyone's
Well,
pretty
obviously
aware.
your brother, but
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's my main hobby has been for a few years. I went through the process of releasing a game on Steam last year.
oh,
And would like to do the same again this year if possible. But yeah, it's something I definitely openly talk about with people.
okay. Which game is your Steam game?
It's called Negative Space. It's a deck builder, kind of like a Slay the Spire Balatro hybrid. It's a non-combat based deck builder set as a kind of a space exploration game.
Negative Space. Let's see. Is it this one?
Yep.
Nice. Yep, there it is. 287 games. All right. Well, I'll make sure to plug that in the description of this video, at least.
Yeah.
And let's see. If you drop it in the promo channel or something, then you can tag the Wishlist Gang. Well, wait, no, it's already released, but you can promote it if you like. But in any case, yeah, I suppose you should start playing. So, does this have controller support?
Nope.
Oh. Okay. All right, here we go. I gotta plug in my keyboard. Ugh. And I guess while we're here, did you have any favorites for things that you want to see played on stream? Do you think that certain things are definitely going to be played tomorrow?
No, I'm curious for more deep cuts. I want to see what I missed. Interested to see kind of which of the really popular games show up, because I think there hasn't been a whole lot from the top 10 maybe so far from the popular category. So we'll see.
Okay. Very nice. Let's see, music and SFX. And let's go ahead. Big Slick, clearing the ropes. Yo, thanks for taking this job. I've been having a hard time keeping the ice slick like I like it. Don't worry, I'll teach you the ropes first. Oh. Shift to drift, wows to steer. Do you know what... Oh, shit. Do you know what the first thing that your team was working on when you started developing the game?
Yeah, I was making the assets for the rink and the character, all the kind of stuff you see here, like just the important stuff, and working on my brother's working on the character controller, and just yeah, the key movement elements. So I think the first thing we're always trying to do is just prove out that the idea works and that we can kind of execute on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, yeah, like I said, night one was kind of weird because the theme was announced on like a Thursday. So I think, yeah, Thursday night we were just trying to get something drivable on the ice within the rink.
Right. You're slick for that one. Classic. Awesome. Okay. See, easy as that. I didn't have time to slick the ice this morning, and we have a lot of customers today. Go make it nice for them. I'll be back later. Alright. Fun little game. Nice job. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Here we go. Yeah, this is where I was just like, am I supposed to kill them? Well, I guess I did already up the ice, so we gotta take some preventative measures.
Yeah, and part of, I think, what we liked about Flickr last year was kind of an element of discovery, and so we didn't want to necessarily spell out all the various things, like the fact that when you kill people, like that you can kill people, I guess, number one, or spell out the power-ups. I think it was just more fun to have people discover it. And like when you drift, for example, it increases the size of your kind of cleaning brush.
Right.
And that felt like a kind of a fun thing for people to figure out and discover on their own.
Mhm.
So that was kind of what the purpose of this level was just to kind of give people an opportunity to get a handle on the controls and explore. And I think really in a game jam, our hope is just to create something that people will have fun with for 10 minutes, will stick with them, and not to make our magnum opus necessarily, but just to make something really solid that people can play for 10 minutes.
Awesome. Yeah, I suppose that's all you need. Weird question. Does the polar bear have a name? Did you call it something?
No, the polar bear is nameless.
See. Well, you do have the opportunity to give it an official name. I put you on the spot.
Yeah, I don't know. He seems like maybe a Ralph or something like that.
All right, Ralph. Very good. Just
a
so we
hard-working guy.
just so we know like what to put on the newspaper when he's jailed for all the murders.
Yeah, well, he's just doing his job.
Of course.
There is an Easter egg, kind of a Flickr-related Easter egg. The stacked red solo cups was also in Flickr, so I wanted to include that in this game too, as like a kind of a nod.
Right. Actually, yeah, I haven't encountered many devs who were including nods to previous games. I think one of them was in Hey Slick. It was a game that I didn't actually play, so it went over my head, but other people in the watch party did notice it. But
oh yeah, I remember seeing the Twitch comments. So there must have been some throwback stuff in there.
Right. So let's see. How did you determine the scoring, by the way? Because I would imagine it's a little bit weird to playtest that sort of thing with this.
Yeah, I mean the scoring was actually one of the last things we implemented, and so I'd say it's not really balanced or fair or necessarily achievable to get gold in all of them. Maybe if you really were grinding away, you could get there, but I don't think it's well balanced or exactly right. We just kind of took our best guess, put some stuff in that we thought was close enough, and then moved on.
Okay.
I think when you're building out all these systems over the course of a few days, that takes a lot of your time, and so the balancing aspect doesn't really come into play. So I think if we had those extra 4 days that we missed from being gone, we could have dialed it in. There you go, nice.
Nice, I got the 9%.
Yeah, so I think the balancing of the scoring is not quite there, but at the end of the day, you can progress without getting the gold and everything, so I didn't feel like it really made that big of a difference. As long as you got bronze, you could move on.
Yeah, of course.
So.
Do you know what this is? I think it made me bigger, but not permanently, but like my brush is still big, so.
Yeah, I think just a visual bug.
Gotcha. Did you manage to do much playtesting? Did you send this to anybody? Like
Yeah,
outside
we
of
have a
team?
group of friends that play tested, but more kind of last minute emergency play testing to make sure that nothing was breaking and critically happening. I think the people we have play test aren't always representative of the people who are going to play game jam games either. There's like a really wide range of skills or games people are familiar with, so I think some of the people that we have play test are really kind of gamery gamers, and so they always skew things with us, making it more hard than more easy, because they're always saying it's easy, right? So
Right. Okay, there's nothing I love more in this life than some slick ice. When the skaters come along and scuff it all up, it really ruffles my feathers. Do me a favor, stop 20 skaters from scuffing my beautiful rink. The faster the better. Ray's a bit dark, I see. Are the...
yeah, well, he just likes slick ice.
Yeah. He knows what he wants. I did think it was funny that, like, ice skaters just trail filth behind them.
Yeah, well, they're scuffing it up, kind of like, it's not unlike what a real Zamboni would be dealing with, but yeah, they do wait until the people are off the ice to do their job, usually.
Mm-hmm. Now that I think about it, I think this might be the only other game I've seen in the jam so far that uses ice skating. The other one being mine, actually. So that's funny. Let's see.
Right, yeah, I was surprised not to see more in that theme, actually.
Mm. Okay. But yeah, I sort of like have a, I guess, a policy, maybe I should say. Like, you can never really make the game too easy, especially for the streamer. It's like, you know, Donkey's, it's either like technical issues or it's because he's probably just streaming and doesn't take the time to like really internalize the mechanics and stuff. But it's kind of funny because you also have to balance for the fact that people on Itch are the people who sort of get it in the running for that. So you have to consider both ends of it.
Yeah, you're right. It is an interesting balance because our first game was a puzzle game, and
Yeah, I
I think
remember.
puzzle games, in general, nobody really likes streaming because you just spend a lot of time sitting there thinking, doing stuff wrong. There's a lot of pressure while people are watching you, and so I think we learned from that for the next two games. But you're right, it is a tough balance because if people don't like the game, then the streamer will never see it in the first place.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter.
Alas. But you know, I remember in the 23 gem there was I'm blank on the name. Oh, I feel bad. What the hell was it? It was a very, very chill puzzle game, like stuff you play before bed kind of puzzle game, and it managed to get a certificate, so that was cool. Man, I'm bad at this one. I'm bad at murder.
That's alright. You got bronze, so you could move on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think Donkey's team spends time going through entries and finding games that don't immediately stick out, which is nice. It's cool that people who make different types of games get acknowledged.
Yeah. I feel like they've gotten a little bit more of a handle on just the format of the streaming, because the 23 jam, if you recall, was like very chaotic. Nobody had any idea what was going on most of the time, I think.
I do remember, yeah. Yeah, they're keeping him more on time this year, which is good because it still takes him 4 or 5 hours every day to get through the games.
Yeah. Okay, silver's good. Let's see what Ramona has. Hey, slick guy, you seem to have a real talent out there on the ice. I mean, I guess you could say that. I have a challenge for you. I'll give you 1 minute to slick as much as you can, but each cone you hit will cost you time. Up for it? Alright, mysterious raccoon.
Yeah, this one was an interesting level. This was
Shit.
the level that my brother was the most pleased with. I think he liked that it was a little more strategic or tactical, that you had to be a little more careful. Whereas I like the levels where you just destroyed stuff, but I think that's why it's nice to have a little mix of both.
The duality of game development. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. Also, I quite like the sparking effect on the wheels. It's like an actual model. Or
that was a
billboard,
last
maybe.
minute thing in the last few hours. That was a nice to have, but looks good.
Yeah. Yo, silver, let's go.
Too bad.
Frog and Toad, I've seen your skills behind the wheel of that metal beast. I know it can do more than slick. Can it, Puck? I want to see if you can get at least 5 goals in 45 seconds. Oh yeah, I remember this one. That was one of the sort of show don't tell things, because Donkey did discover that you could just knock the guys in.
Right. Yep.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I think stuff like that is it's fun to include those moments where people feel like they're discovering something or figuring something out that might be either unintended or just not explained.
Nice. Alright. Back here. Okay, whatever. I've given up on them. No! Get in there! Okay. Oh! Okay. C's get degrees.
Yep.
I'll go again though. I want to get silver at least. I would like to get gold in one of these, but goddamn.
Yeah, there's a few that are easier than others. I think the one after the next one is like easy gold.
I have completely fucked this run. Oh my god. I think it was similar in the donkey run too. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like nothing. Oh
For
wait.
what it's worth, I don't think I got gold on most of them by the end. So
Jesus Christ. Okay, 1 goal. Yeah, has all your team gotten all the golds? No, yeah.
I don't think so.
Horrible. Well, that was only 2 less than last time. Okay, let's be a bit more discerning here. I know that there's a double stacked one over there. Another one of your discovery Easter egg things. Get in there.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing about that is that I discovered that today when Donkey was playing it because I didn't intentionally do that, so that must have just been a mistake. But it doesn't hurt to have a little extra help.
Oh, unintentional. Very good.
Yep.
I would say it fits with your design philosophy, maybe.
It does. It does.
Okay, here's some over here. Yippee. Oh, that's right. The JPEG's in the crowd. Well, PNGs, probably. But, yeah, what's the story behind that? How'd you do that?
Yeah, that's kind of a throwback to the old like N64 era sports games of the really low res kind of billboarded audience members.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just put in Photoshop, crunched them up a lot, and tossed them in.
I'm assuming that's the development team?
Yeah, that's myself and a few of our friends.
What was the setup there? Were you like all just nearby in the same place and you're just like, alright, time to take pictures?
No, I just put the blast on Discord and said if you want to be in a game that Donkey might play, send me a picture.
Oh.
And yeah, I was surprised not as many people took me up on it as I expected. So congrats to the people who sent me their pictures, because I think Donkey even stopped to look at them for a second. So too bad for the people who didn't.
Yeah, literally like 1.4 thousand people saw. So that's funny.
Yep, exactly.
If only everybody knew the stakes. Okay, so like, you did well with my last challenge. How about another? There's a big group of skaters out there scuffing up your ice. Defend it for 90 seconds by any means necessary. Oh no. Alright, here we go.
Yeah, a little dark.
Have you seen the Uwaa compilation? for Done with the Sickness.
Yeah, I think I have actually.
Yeah.
Sound.
I'm not even gonna try because very easiest way to make fool of yourself. Specifically trying to emulate that sound from that song.
Yeah, I won't be doing either, but people can YouTube it.
Yeah. Get back here. Thank you, Lion Yan, developer of Ram from the 23 Jam, Arcbreaker from the 25 Jam, and Double O Skaten Tugan Infiltration from this jam.
Yeah, I remembered Lion Yan from last year. I remember playing Arcbreaker and thought that was pretty slick.
Yeah, it was the one with the highest aggregate score.
Right. Yeah, in multiple categories, that was really impressive.
For sure. So yeah, we've been having fun there. Actually, their game for this jam, Donkey's friend Fluppy actually was on the team.
Oh really?
Yeah, that was a funny story. He briefly showed up in the interview that we did in the chat, and that was cool.
Okay. Yeah, I'm expecting that one to get played tomorrow, so fingers crossed.
Yippee! Hell yeah! Yeah, they worked really hard on it. So, let's see here. I think that did it. Was that good? Yo!
Yeah, that was as good as possible.
Really?
Well, as far as I know. I mean, I don't know if the gold's attainable or not.
Okay. Let's. Nice double kill. All right. Go on here. All right. This is pretty good. Hell yeah. Yo, I'm doing it.
Yep, you're getting the hang of it.
Get over here.
Yeah, the thing we liked about the kind of the medal concept, the 3 tiers of success, was that if people really wanted to keep replaying, that they're able to, but if they kind of just wanted to see what's next, then they're able to just move on.
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's kind of nice in a game jam, especially if people have a lot of stuff to play, which they often do. Sometimes you want to just move on, but sometimes you really get into a game and you want to keep playing. So I think it's nice to have the option to do either.
Yeah. I don't know if I cleaned up that much, but I feel like I did well. I mean, I definitely killed everyone
Still got
very
20
quickly.
seconds. I mean, if you get the rest of that blood cleaned up, you might be in good shape.
Come on.
You're getting very close, actually.
Come on. The psychometer. Oh my god, please. Okay. Enough drifting. I'll just play it safe a little bit. Oh, did I get 79? Oh my god. No.
1% off.
Ah,
That's a
so sad.
heartbreaker. Yeah.
I
So
tried
maybe
very
gold
hard.
it might be attainable, actually.
Oh yeah,
It's
for
possible.
sure. From Frog and Toad, Rage Room. There's a ton of my failed pottery sitting out there on the ice. Smash as much as possible in 30 seconds before Big Slick hears you. This is going to be awesome. It's just some wanton destruction. Let's go. Okay. Now this is fun. So, did you say that you handled the models?
Yeah.
So I actually also had a lot of shattering stuff in my game. How did you accomplish it for yours?
Just made a simple model in Blender, and there's some add-on that basically breaks it into a number of kind of separated pieces.
Yeah, cell fracture.
And so, yep, I think that's the one. And so, yeah, basically just replace the model after it breaks and add some explosive force, and that's really all there is to it. But it has a nice effect.
Yeah,
Satisfying.
for sure. Yeah, I made heavy use of that myself. I had like a loop that, like, when it breaks, it swaps out the model for all of its component pieces and then applies a rigid body to all of them. Something like that. So,
Yep.
what did you make your
Same
games in, by the way?
We always use Unity.
Oh. I'll say it. Also, yes, Lanyan. Flickr developer, your games rule. Yippee.
Yep.
Wait, why haven't I got over here? Okay, I can smash the trophy. Does it only count for one, though?
It does count for one, but it's a big one.
It's a big one, okay. Come on. I feel like this one is doable, because I got 100 the first time, and I didn't even hit the speed power up.
Yeah, the trick is to go for the big stacks.
Right. Are they guaranteed to break if they hit the floor?
Yeah.
Okay. Ugh. Foolish. 101. Yeah, I can definitely do this one.
Close.
Oh, I drifted the wrong way. What's wrong with me? Here we go. Here we do the grim work of fucking up a bunch of random bullshit.
Yeah, and I think had I had more time, I wanted to make more variety of destructible objects, but it was a low priority thing, and I thought the vases worked well enough to get the job done, so that's kind of how we ended up where we are.
Yippee!
There you go.
Very nice. Big Slick, a big problem. Whoa. Ah, we have an issue. An existential threat to Slick Ice. You gotta see it for yourself. Good luck out there. That seems ominous. Is this the last challenge?
It is last level.
Alright, let's see it. Big guys. I guess we have a Titan infestation. I mean, what? They probably just hit the same power up I used to get big.
Yeah, I mean, they might have just figured out the technology.
That's fucked up.
You have to kind of assume the lore for yourself, I guess.
Yeah, show don't tell.
That's right.
Classic tier 87 or wait, yeah, tier 87
you're right.
games.
You're right.
Yippee. More like tier 6-7 games.
Very good. Well, you know, the story behind that name is pretty stupid as well, which is that we started by making like iOS games,
Mm-hmm.
and when you go to put in a game on the iOS on the Apple Store, they have certain tiers of pricing. You can't just set an arbitrary price, and so you have to pick from a drop down of the price you want to set it at. And so I think tier 86 is $1,000.
Wow.
And so we said, well, what about, what's above tier 86, tier 87? So there you go.
Perfect. Nice. That was a silver. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. That's definitely a great time. What do you think that the team's favorite thing is about the game?
I think just the overall arcadey, just chaotic energy, I think is fun. I think it came together as like a nice cohesive package. I think obviously there's things that we, given more time, would have changed or fixed. But overall, I mean, you can't be too pressed about a game jam game, given you can only have so much time and you're doing the most you can.
What happened?
Oh, you got someone stuck under your tire there.
Yeah. Does Zambonis have tires? Oh, I guess they do.
Yeah, they got to drive on the ice.
Yeah. I don't know.
Overall, we were happy with it. I think we always want to push further than we have in the past. I don't know if this eclipses Flickr in any real way. I think it's tough to top that, but I think it kind of accomplished what we set out to do. It felt like a nice game jam game, and yeah, happy with it.
And I think I know the answer, but how do you think that your development process has been refined? You said that you scoped really appropriately for this one, but have you learned a lot like in your game development journey since then?
I think we've learned a lot about game jams.
Game jams specifically.
Yeah, I mean, I think just what's important, and I think game jams are an interesting kind of small slice of what any person who likes playing video games is looking for. They're looking for something that kind of gets their attention quickly, doesn't waste their time. I think when you're thinking about somebody who's going to play a game jam game, there's somebody who is playing a lot of them in a row. And if you spend a lot of time in the beginning kind of with a lot of exposition or just not really getting to the point of the game, people can sometimes get bored or move to the next thing. So I think we just kind of learned about more like when you're thinking about a game for a game jam, what does that look like? The scope, the type of gameplay, the type of people who are playing it, all those types of things. I think it just helps you in the early beginning stages of just ideating and thinking about what can we pull off, helps you kind of refine that more. So I think we just kind of have got to that place faster.
Gotcha. Yeah, so mostly just like about designing around your audience, or just like what your audience's considerations specifically will be.
Yeah, I think designing around the audience, designing around your capabilities. I think we have strengths and weaknesses. If we were going to say, let's make an FPS in 10 days, there would just be no way. We don't have the experience, the know-how. We'd spend 10 days just watching YouTube tutorials. So I think we have to kind of just focus on stuff that we can do and that we already have some knowledge of doing.
Right.
So I think it's just a matter of understanding your own limits, understanding your strengths, and trying to play to those strengths as much as possible.
For sure.
And ultimately come up with something that people find enjoyable and memorable. And I think it's fun to come back year after year and have the community that you see the same names pop up. And an interesting experience actually was that the game I was talking about that I released on Steam this year, I had entered at a kind of PAX adjacent festival, basically. So during the weekend of PAX here in Seattle, they had a bunch of indie games on display, and mine was one of them.
Nice.
And while we were kind of setting up, we were walking around the floor of PAX, and we saw the team from Blocks for Babies.
Yeah.
Which was
Yo,
a
Bunkus.
2023 entry.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. But yeah, they had their whole thing set up at PAX. They had a bunch of people playing it, and kind of just connecting with those folks in person was pretty cool, and seeing kind of their success, and that was pretty neat. And so I'm also hoping for their game tomorrow too. I know that we haven't seen that one yet.
Yo, yeah. At the end of my, I've been compiling the OSTs from all of the jam games that I could get volunteers from. I hit the YouTube upload limit because I uploaded 91 videos after rendering them out last night. But yeah, I put them into a big Mega Mix playlist, and I literally put Rick's like reprise at the very end because I thought it would be like the coolest thing to end it on.
Yeah. That's actually a game I forgot when you asked me what were some of my favorite games from this year. That one definitely I enjoyed a lot. I think another good example of a game that doesn't overstay its welcome. Like, it comes in, introduces some fun ideas, like the last level with the soundtrack and the whole thing.
And it has a story. It's a really funny story.
It's a great game jam game. But yeah, that was a cool experience seeing them in person, and just kind of seeing. Or even if you remember Arctic Eggs, that was a huge success from that first jam. So it's just cool to see what people come up with, and interesting to see, like, will you see the next Hollow Knight? Because Hollow Knight was a game jam game too initially. So, or the next Arctic Eggs. So it's a fun time. We look forward to it, and
for sure.
Hopefully there'll be a BIGMODE Jam 27.
Yeah, and yeah, hope I see your stream there.
Yeah.
But yeah, on the topic of 23, actually, I told the team because Munch Planet dropped Catch That Man in 23, and we've been talking about it ever since. But I was saying that like Rick's like reprise was like the Catch That Man of the 26 jam, as far as I know, at least. So
yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anything catchier, so I'd probably agree with you.
Right. Yeah, and from an earlier topic, well, actually, yeah, I also wanted to mention, so Attaboy or Bunkstunkus, he actually posts Blocks for Babies updates here because he's one of the OGs of the Boneyard, so he sometimes posts updates for it here before he posted other places, which is kind of funny to me, but he actually just posted some updates for Blocks for Babies in the Progress channel. He's met a lot of other developers too, so it's been really cool to see everybody like bump shoulders and everything. He's currently been collaborating. He collaborated with the Fugue Shot developer from 25 for this jam on Rick's Slick, or Rick Slick Let Him Hit You. Yeah, that's the one. There's a lot of Rick Slicks here, or Slick Ricks. So, but
yeah, I remember I'm in the Fugue Shot Discord as well. That was a game I remember. So
yeah,
it's always cool to see the games that kind of stick with you after the years. And fun when they keep working on them too. I saw that they're going to be at GDC, I think, the Fugue Shot team.
Yeah. We just did a playtest for them. I hosted a playtest for them, so we had like a dozen people or so to make sure that they had like everything ready for it. So yeah, we've been keeping up with each other. It's been really good.
Yeah, the game dev community is kind of one of the best parts. I think just people sharing ideas and helping each other is it's really nice to have something like that.
Yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, I guess past the meta stuff, I did want to ask you, because you mentioned like identifying your strengths and your weaknesses and everything. So what would you say yours are?
I think strengths, maybe just being able to hone in on something fun and just pushing it in a bunch of different directions. I think economically, and I mean making a system and pushing it to get a lot out of it. I think it's easy to spend a lot of time building a great system, but you only use it for such a small amount of time. That's really ultimately not a good use of your time.
Right.
And so I think something we're good at is figuring out something we can get a lot of mileage out of. And so in this case, this game is kind of about cleaning ice, but it's also about killing skaters and scoring pucks and breaking stuff. So, the core mechanic of just driving around the Zamboni is fun, and you have these kind of extra things layered on top of it. So I think that's kind of one of our strengths, is being able to squeeze as much juice out of an idea as possible. And weaknesses, I think maybe we have a certain lane we go into in terms of our ideas, and we don't have such a wide kind of lens of I don't know, in terms of just coming up with ideas. Maybe I guess it's kind of hard to define your own weaknesses because we're just in our own heads. But
it's also hard
I
because
think
you probably don't seek out a lot of it, situations that just put you in contact with your weaknesses, right? You really want to play to your strengths most of the time. But
yeah, I mean, I think when you look back in a few years, you can see your weaknesses and say, oh, you know, my modeling skills have gotten better, or we've gotten better at making just you know, there's less crashes or less bugs. So I think it's kind of easier to look back and see the weaknesses. But yeah.
okay, gotcha. Well, okay. So once this run is over, is there any more content to the game? Have we seen everything?
No, this is it. This is the final level. I think when we kind of were ideating, we were trying to think of if there was other content that we'd like to add, but at the end of the day, it kind of would have been more of the same, maybe kind of packaged differently, or with a different kind of theme in terms of like, oh, kill these people and kill people and score goals, or avoid killing people. It would be some iteration of the same stuff we already had, and we just kind of ran out of time. I felt like this was a sufficient amount of content, so yep, this is the last level, and if you leave the level, you'll see a thank you message for playing, but that's about it.
Yippee.
So we wanted to have something, because that was one criticism we got a few times last year, was that if you completed all the Flickr objectives, there was no congratulations, thanks for playing. So we made sure to include a thanks for playing this time.
Yeah, it can be really simple. Like, you don't really need a lot. It's just, oh, that's it. You know, when you complete everything, there's nothing there. All right. Well, Silver is definitely good enough.
You'll see the thank you, and that's it.
Thanks for playing. From Tier 87 Games, thanks for playing. Thanks for playing Ice Rink Rush. This game was made in 10 days for the Big Mode Game Jam 2026 with theme Slick. We hope you enjoyed it. Awesome. Thank you for joining me, Andrew. Before we leave off, is there anything else that we wouldn't know about the game unless you told us? Any funny stories, funny coding patterns, weird issues that you had, shoutouts that you want to do?
I think we got into a lot of it. This screen here was something that came later. I was mulling over a long time what this UI would look like and didn't want it to just be like a level select UI. So I wanted it to be kind of thematic. So this is one of the last things that kind of came together, was the idea of you getting your quests via email. So that was kind of something that was a later decision. I was ultimately happy with it. But ultimately, yeah, I mean, we were pleased that Donkey played it. We didn't expect that. And we'll look forward to the next one. We're always excited to do the Big Mode jams, and hopefully we'll come up with another fun idea for next year.
Yeah, of course. Okay, I suppose that does it. Once again, don't be a stranger. So the Boneyard has a lot of stuff where we meet up, we show off our works in progress, we host playtesting sessions if your games ever need it. We have a games club that we recently started where we play a monthly game and a weekly game that's free. So we're always like keeping up with each other and seeing what we got going on. A lot of collaborations formed from specifically this space, and yeah, we like to help each other out here. So
cool. Yeah, well, it was a fun chat. So thanks for having me on. And I'll be hanging out in the Discord and following along with everybody's progress.
Yippee! Yeah, we'll have a watch party tomorrow. So if you and your team want to, then you're always free.
Cool. I'll see if I can drop in.
Okay. Well, I'll catch you later.
Thanks, Bonejack. Bye.